Hello and welcome to our first game of this best of 3 series here. I am a new caster to this. I am Sam Spitfire Warful, joined by my lovely co-host.
Hi there, I'm Ethan Hooper Hargreaves.
And it looks like we're getting right into Champion Select. So our game today is Outlaw Bandits versus Wilder and the Wards. Wilder being on red side here, by the look of it.
No surprise here by the Jin ban. Both teams actually put an awful lot of priority on that, but Mr. Wilder in particular has played an awful lot of that so far in the start of Season 11, so no surprise there.
Yasuo ban, pretty decent standard ban. Olaf as well, very meta at the moment. Gordrinker still quite strong at the moment. So we'll see neither team's getting that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see an Orianna ban come out here. The Yasuo ban's clearly targeted at Yonder, and there it is. There is the Orianna ban as well. Really prioritized both of those champions so far this season. We'll see if it pushes him towards something like a Talon or a Zed, which seem to be like the next level of priority.
We'll see what the next ban comes out for Olaf, and that looks like the Seraphine. So very strong both in support, but can also be flexed to the bot lane as well in the AD carry position. And Kindred, the last ban for now.
Yeah, I'm somewhat surprised by the Seraphine ban personally. I thought Dark Chance might have been wanting to pick that up as a first pick, given how strong it is at the moment. But looks like they might have a different first pick in mind, and there it is. It's the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Kai'Sa seems like the strongest ADC at the moment, so no surprises there. Pretty good first pick.
Yeah, definitely. Once you take away the Jhin, you're looking at the Aphelios and the Kai'Sa as the next best, and follow up with the Hecarim pick. Oh, and just to remind viewers that Viego is actually banned for week 1 of VL, so we won't be seeing any of that just yet. So thankfully Spitfire hasn't had to learn all about the ability names for that one.
Hey, we'll be lucky if I get some of these right, to be honest. So the Sivir is the next pick up against the Kai'Sa. Pretty safe pick, decently strong, especially with the Essence Reavers buffs recently. So that's pretty good. Rammus.
Yeah, we saw Reckless over the weekend have an incredibly strong performance on the Sivir. Like you say, the Essence Reaver buffs are incredibly good, and it's one of the few AD carries who can scale alongside Kaiser. And as you said, Rammus there being locked in by Haha Kek WXD. Um, so that'll be an interesting, let's call it an okay pick.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's quite an early Rammus pick. Usually, Rammus you want to save for later to see if they're going full AD, because then it's a perfect pick. But now they might change their picks up to more go for some more magic damage to counter that Rammus. And the Maokai, probably in the top lane. It can be flexed to support, but with the nerfs to Maokai himself and Imperial Mandate likely in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm curious by this pick. Given the Rakan hover previously, does make me think it might actually be a support pick, and it might just be a case of despite the nerfs to both Imperial Mandate and Maokai's saplings, that it's actually just such a strong comfort pick for the team, and they're so used to playing with it. So that happens sometimes where things get nerfed, but you've invested so much time into the synergy in a bot lane duo that you feel like you can still make it work. And we'll have to see how that goes into the Braum, who can mitigate some of the damage from the saplings.
Plus
and the Pantheon ban is coming
yeah,
through.
the Braum shield works well into the Maokai ult as well, stops the projectiles, which is good.
Yeah, that's very true. So it looks like they've got a good counter to that already.
Yeah, Pantheon, very strong jungler. But they're thinking it probably could go into the solo lanes there because they've already locked in Rammus for the jungler pick. Anivia, another taken off the table in the mid lane. Was support for a while, but doesn't seem to be cropping up that much more.
Yeah, it looks as though they want to take away some of that hyper scaling. They've already got the Sivir. They don't want to give them the Anivia as well. And then the Shen taken away from the Outlaw Bandits. It allows for some of the cross map plays and the global ability of the ultimate. Really good in these synergized team compositions, especially on top of a Kaiser who's going to want to dive in with the shield on top of her. But we'll see what the last ban coming through here is. It's the Urgot. So that's the first top lane ban we've seen come out from Outlaw Bandits. So otherwise, there is still quite a wide open pool there available. And it looks like it could potentially be the Ivern top, which many of us have seen from over the weekend in the LEC.
Yeah, so that works well with the Hecarim. Means you can shield him up as he goes in, gives him that more protection, makes him tankier, survive a lot longer in fights. But no, last minute shots to the Mordekaiser. Strong pick, strong laner, looking to be a bully in the top lane. Could also be mid. Less common, but it can also be played in the mid lane. So we'll see. They might be keeping the last pick for a counter pick.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where that one ends up. I will say I was skeptical of the Ivern pick. I think it's incredibly difficult in these scenarios to put so much pressure on one player to perform. And I like that they've got a more mixed damage profile now as well. It looks like it's going to be going into the Cho'Gath, so now that pretty much all but confirms that the Maokai is going to be the support here. And we're going to have some tanky AP boys up in the top lane with Cho'Gath and Mordekaiser. And there is that Annie that we mentioned earlier going into the mid lane for Outlaw Bandits.
A pretty tanky squad coming out of the Outlaw Bandit side there with the Cho'Gath and the Rammus. We'll have to see what the last one is for Wild on the Wards. This either their mid lane or the top laner.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a pick into the end. Let's see if he does go with a assassin. No, it's going to be the even more wave clear with the Malzahar. So it is going to be difficult for the Outlaw Bandits to push forward into this team if it manages to go past the 30-minute mark.
Okay, so looking at team comps now, I'd favour maybe the Wild on the Wards, especially with this very early Rammus pick, which I was not a fan of. Especially with now they've picked the Malzahar and the Mordekaiser. Both do relatively well into the Rammus as he wants to stack armor. Hecarim's not going to be focusing the Rammus. I guess he's got a bit of protection if the Rammus tries to taunt him up, prevents him getting to the back line. But I imagine the Kaiser actually is diving the opposite way. So it's going to be some interesting team fights here, I can think.
Yeah, the Malzahara is actually going to be a really interesting pick for Wilder and the Waters, particularly into this Kaiser, because it certainly means that Griselbrando is going to have to think an awful lot more before jumping straight into one of these fights. Because if you haven't got that QSS or that immediate knockup that someone can provide onto Malzahar, then you are going to be locked down instantly, and that's going to be incredibly difficult to play around.
Yeah, the Malzahar's gonna be wanting to target the Kaiser there. Less so the Annie, I suppose. With Annie, it's all about that burst damage with the ultimate and probably the stun. A lot of area effect splash damage. So if the Malzahar's getting onto the Annie, if she's done all her damage, there's no point locking her up. Better to lock up one of the more meaningful targets like the Kaiser. But we'll see what happens here. I do prefer the Team Conquer of Wilder and the Wars overall. But hey, it's League of Legends. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, I definitely think that the team composition from Wild on the Walls is easier to execute. But Outlaw Bandits are really going to want to play around the vision and make sure they can get those areas of fog that they can play around the flash tibbers and the Cho'Gath knockups. That's really what they want to be focusing on. Um, Otherwise, it should be simple enough for Wilder and the Wars to work around those big ultimates from the likes of Anna and Maokai. So we'll have to see how the vision control from both of these teams is with Dark Weeg and Wolf version 2 pitting off against one another.
Yeah, with Maokai especially, you can get a lot of easy wards around. Well, not wards per se, but the saplings do very good for vision, knowing where the enemy is, knowing where they're not. You just scatter the complete map with your saplings. Gives you a pre-warning if anyone's coming towards you. So we'll see what Wolf does with these. Maybe it could go Comet or Aftershock. Um, Probably Aftershock, trying to be that bit more tankier. But Comet does that bit more damage, better for laning phase to get that poke off.
Yeah, and we should also mention Wilder and the Wards, a team that's rebranded and returning from season 10 of VL, while Outlaw Bandits is a new team to the league, recently put together. So might not have that synergy in place that Wilder and his squad are going to be bringing. So with a composition that is going to be a little harder to execute, it'll be interesting to see what the synergy is like across the Bandits and whether they actually have the damage across their team to be able to punch through the uh, the Wilder and the Walls.
Wilder does have a very tanky front line. I was saying that Outlaw are tanky, but you can't dismiss how tanky a Mordekaiser does get with all that sustained tankiness and damage in a fight, especially with the Braum, can block up all the Kaiser procs. Can make Kaiser absolutely useless. So we'll have to see how Dark Weeb's um, positioning are in the fights to try and get rid of this Kaiser and make as little damage as he can.
Yeah, and with the
Yep.
uh, with the reminder, sorry, with the Cho'Gath pick top and the removal of the likes of Twin Shadows. Cho'Gath hasn't really found a concrete place in the meta just yet. Um, So we need to see what the build's going to look like here. Towards the end of season 10, that glacial augment build had become really popular for just sticking onto individuals and not having the uh, the availability of those items is going to make this a little bit difficult, I think, for Dark Chance up in the top lane.
Yeah, the used to be you could either build like full AP on him with glacial, spooky ghosts, frozen hose, just absolutely annihilate one person, and then you still super tanky. But obviously with the preseason and now into season 2021, season 11, uh, only can really build tank, which is why he's gone with the grasp rather than say glacial or comet. He's going to be a very beefy boy though, and but tank shredding with the Malzahar passive can burn through Cho'Gath quite easily. Same with the Severe, and she doesn't even have to be that close. Plus, Severe quite good counter. if you get your spell shield right, totally negates the ultimate out of Cho'Gath.
Yeah, and
So
like you said, it is the comet that we've gone with on the Maokai. So yeah, he has gone for the more damage oriented build.
yeah, we're just getting into game now. We'll see how this goes. As a reminder, Outlaw Bandits are on our blue side here, and Wilder and the Ward are on red side. So, first game of the day in our best of 3. Hopefully it's a good one. Yep.
Yep.
Go. And we're in.
Fantastic. So Wilder and the Wards versus Outlaw Bandits. This is game 1, Division 4 of VL. Let's see how it goes.
I'm excited. New season, lots of new stuff to build. I wonder what what's the mythic for Rammus? Is that Chem Tank? I feel like it would be.
Turbo Chem Tank probably going to be the most likely build here. We can see everyone is fanning out. There is no chance, I think, that there is going to be an early invade here. Both teams almost perfectly synchronized. That was beautiful. I want to see that in the Olympics.
Very synchronized team fanning. League of Legends.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Golf's in there.
Same. Golf. What a sport. I hate it. So, moving on from golf. It looks like there's not going to be any invades. Hecarim with Coco is bad. Prostrate in the mid lane. So's Haha Kek W on the Rammus. So, not really sure where either jungle is going to start. Hecarim's posturing now to his blue side jungle. And looks like, Haha Kek W is now on the red as well. So pretty standard start.
Here's a lovely little start from the Maokai there. We saw him throwing the saplings over from the river brush to bot lane into the tri brush on red side. It's a nice little trick you can play just to get a little bit of extra poke damage if they walk through there. He's unlucky. They have taken the more aggressive route to lane, so it has just resulted in a waste of mana. But if you do want to be playing Maokai in solo queue, that is a nice little trick for the first couple of minutes of play.
You can either do the tri brush or the river bush. Pretty similar ideas but it just depends which way the bot lane goes. Really, it's just a guess. So some early trading down from Mr. Wilder into Grizzle Brando. Having to pop the pot early. That's a fun phrase. On the Kaiser. So yeah, obviously the Sivir's got a lot of poke damage with the Q.
Yeah, the damage from Sivir is so much easier to proc in these early levels, particularly with the Q having a much larger range than Kaiser's lock-on Q. So Grizzle Brando's really just going to want to try and get that money up, get back and get the Noon Quiver, and get a little bit closer to his mythic item before he starts taking these proper team fights and even 2v2s in lane.
It looks like the Coco's bad cleared his blue straight onto red up to Krugs. Maybe posturing for a top crab or onto a gank onto the Cho'Gath. Rammus with a start of Krugs as well. We went red Krugs Raptors, so he'll be slower, but they're probably going to both get to top scuttle at the same time.
Yeah, we just saw a nice little trade from Organised Crisis over onto the Cho'Gath, but not going to result in much. Oh, it does look like he's going in towards the blue buff to try and pressure KEKW, but it doesn't look as though anything's come from it. But it does allow Coco, is bad, to get priority on that top Scuttle Crab. I'd be interested to see if he runs straight through mid lane here and just goes for the bottom Scuttle Crab. That would be a nice little move to get that experience advantage.
Yeah, the KEKW looks like he's gone onto Gromp. Yeah, it looks like, as you said, going for this gank onto the Annie. Got the devastating charge, got stun on turrets. Bit of poke returns onto Coco's bad and walks away. Nothing blown, but straight onto Scuttle Crab. So it's double Scuttle for Coco's bad, which I presume he will be very happy.
Yeah, not much achieved with the gank, but there's no harm in it. You never know, you might blow an early flash, and you're always going to be heading down to that second Scuttle Crab anyway. So I like the little chunk.
Looks like we've got a gank in the top lane with flash out from Organised Crisis. Very good. I feel like he would have, with the chain CC, probably would have died there. So nice flash out, but very easy gank for KEKW.
Yeah, it's a shame. KW's probably going to have to go back towards the bot side now. But it would be interesting to see if he tries to posture towards top lane to get the return gank. Try and blow that Mordekaiser up before he gets to level 6, where he becomes so difficult to gank.
Yeah, as soon as you gank, pop the ultimate, one-on-one again. Jungler can't do anything. So I feel like the Rammus would have to focus his attention more on bot lane and mid lane. But then again, very hard ganks for the Rammus. Spell shield on the Sivir, spell shield on the Malzahar. What are you going to do? Go to the Braum, I guess. But not going to be an easy time for the Rammus here.
Yeah, certainly. And overall CS across the board, we're looking fairly even. Grizzle Brando falling a little bit down 3 CS, but that's just because of the nature of Sivir's pushing. Otherwise, it's still just that double scuttle advantage that we've seen in the jungle. Looks like resting Zeus is going to get back to lane and solve it. Oh, but we've got the dragon from the Mordekaiser. He's going in on the Cho'Gath.
Pops his Q and just walks out, just a bit of trading there. It's going to be quite hard for either to kill here. Mordekaiser's also got a shield. Cho'Gath just got a lot of sustain with his passive. So yeah, not a huge amount of action in the early game. Got flash blown, but just looks like farming. Which team do you give the scaling to?
Oh, well, I'll just hold you on that, because it looks like Coco's Bad is going to be going in on the Cho'Gath here, but he is level 6, so they want to be careful.
Yeah, so devastating charge onto it, just knocks him away. Pretty easy to get out from Dark Chance there.
Yeah, I feel as though there might be a few nerves here coming out from both squads. Neither team really feels as though they're trying to avoid making a mistake, being the first to make the error.
Yeah.
Nobody is committing to these fights. Perhaps both teams feel like they're the team that can win in the outscaling and in the team fights.
Yeah.
So in terms of scaling, I actually give it a little bit towards Wilder and the Wards personally. I'm a huge fan of like a 6-item Sivir. I think it's an unbelievable champion, and that plus the Hecarim and the CC of the Mordekaiser and the Malzahar is just going to be so difficult for Grizzle Brando to be able to play around. So again, I just think that the Wilder and the Wards composition is that little bit simpler to pull off. But we'll see how things play out. It looks like they may be posturing just up the river to help secure this Scuttle Crab for Coco's Bad after his blue, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Just getting level 6 as well, so this could be huge for Wilder and the Wards.
Wolf version 2's been spotted out, got some saplings out. They know they're probably looking for Dragon now, but it looks like they're just not going to contest it with Haha KW on the top side of the map.
Yeah. So Resting Zeus has played this wonderfully. He's used that Malzahar to full effect. He's pushed the Annie into the mid lane, straight under a tower, so he can move down, clear out the vision, and that's Wilder in the Wards collecting the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, we've got Haha KW now going into Coco's topside jungle, but not going to find a lot. Raptors are up, so she's going to steal that away. But I feel like Dragon for Raptors is a great trade.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Coco is bad. He's going to be buzzing about that. He's gone back. He's got his Sheen. He's gone and got the dragon. He's going to be working towards that Trinity Force first item, I imagine, which is where Hecarim can really start to run away with the game. Now, this is interesting. He's actually going to try and get the red buff as well. He is still down in XP, still sitting at that level 5.
Coco's coming over. Will look like we might be able to have a fight here. Oh no, he's Raptors first.
Yeah, he's going to be distracted by the Raptor camp, and it looks like he is going around the other side though. This
he might catch him out. Okay, here we go. Flash out of KW. Ooh, followed by the immediate ulti. W down. Just going to be an easy kill. Easy
and
kill.
There it is. First blood for Coco is bad.
Popped the ghost, but got the flash out of Haha KW. So pretty worthwhile trade, and just straight out onto the Rift Herald. Not incontestable. Looking pretty good out of Wilder on the Wards there. 1k ahead. Before that kill, it was about 800, so they've been farming well as well.
Yeah, definitely. I respect Keck W's decision making, trying to. He really feels like he needs to get something while Wilder and the Wards are taking that Drake. But as a Rammus, you just do not have the early clear to be able to take a camp like that. Oh, and it's a flash forward from the Malzahar into Wolf. Looks like Coco is bad. He's going to devastating charge him down, and it looks like he can get out the other side as well.
And with that, we've got a gank on the bot lane. Ult out from, flash out from the Braum. Looks like with the Civil pop, they're just going to run away from it. Still trading. Oh, and the Maokai ult. Looks like TP was cancelled there from the top lane.
Yeah, Cho'Gath managed to cancel the TP, but Sivir is actually going to take down the Kai'Sa. Yeah. Grizzle Brando going down in the 2v3, and it looks like Coco is bad. He's going to make things even worse.
Devastating charge. They found the Keck W. No passive. Ooh, kills the Sivir straight out. Torn onto the Hecarim. Was going to flash out from Wolf is here. Ignite down. One more last tick. Twisted advance onto the Braum. And a double kill for the Keck W. I think he'd be quite pleased with that after what looked like quite a botched engage out of Outlook.
Oh, give me the mini series, Keck W XD with the roundabouts. This is what we want to see. Rammus rolling about around the alcoves. That's just what Riot wanted when they designed this addition to the map. He was able to pick up the extra kill onto Wilder. After what was a bit of a disappointing fight for Grizzle Brando taking down. But we did see, like you said, Dark Chance was able to cancel the teleport of Mordekaiser, so it could have been an awful lot worse for Outlaw Bandits.
Yeah,
and the top lane is still fighting here.
Yeah, I feel like Mordekaiser's got a bit of a slight advantage over onto the Cho'Gath, but like you said, the Q cancel pretty easy. He must have just tried to teleport in quite an odd place. Obvious place, because just throw down your Q, easy cancel out. But also the silence as well, W, so Cho'Gath are very good at cancelling. So yeah, if they'd have managed to get that TP down, it'd been a 4v3, probably turned it around, killed both the Maokai, and we've got, both ultimates traded in the mid lane. Looks like, flash out from Yonder, the Malzahar E just burns it down. Got Tibbers killing, and no, Tibbers doesn't get the final tick.
Looks like, is Organised Crisis going to go in with the ultimate here? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that mid lane fight here, you can see the difficulty that Yonder 711 is having with this Malzahar. He constantly feels like he's being pushed in. He has to use auto attacks and abilities before he can ult to cancel the CC shield that Malzahar has got. And he's actually taking down his 4th plate of the match before 12 minutes. They're going to probably want to try and get that down before 14, but we'll see how much they can take.
Yeah, very well played out. Rest is very close, but obviously with the Malzahar, lots of sustained damage that you can't get away from. Oh, engage from the Kemtam. Devastating charge. Taunted up. No, it doesn't look like
it. Yeah, it's a nice little interaction there caused by the taunt due to the
got twisted advance on. Got exhaust down. Sivir popped. Stun onto Kai'Sa. That was very well played by Darkweave. And we've got Rammus joining now. He's trying to look against Sivit's teleport out from, looks like investing Zeus on the Malzahar. Bomb just tanking up for now. Silence down.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, Mr. Wilder went so low so quickly in that fight, but Darkweave, Onslaught of Shadows out from the Hecarim, picked him up, perfect.
Yeah, it's heartbreak for the Outlaw Bandits in that bottom lane play. They were so close. This just shows the power. And it is the Tibbers into a kill on Darkweave for Yonder. But just before he killed, we saw the power of the Braum there. The passive from Braum really able to lock down both of the bot lane targets, which just gives Wilder enough time to land the Q and land those auto attacks. It's such a valuable champion for field, Braum, often very much overlooked because of its simplicity, but certainly one of the strongest passives in the game.
Yeah, looks like a 3-for-1 with a dragon, so looking very, very good for Wilder and the Wards here. Yeah, the Sivir went down. So much damage coming out for the Kai'Sa so quickly, especially with the Maokai ult. Burned down to about a quarter HP, but they just couldn't finish her off. Maokai used everything. Sivir just got, as you said, got the last stun onto the Kai'Sa, managed to finish them off, managed to finish Maokai off. Rammus couldn't kill. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm finding we're getting some of our first mythic items completed here. So over on Outlaw and the Bandits, we've only got a Turbo Chem Tank. But I'm most interested by the Kraken Slayer on Sivir. So I think this is actually a really nice adaptation from Mr. Wilder, given that you've got the Cho'Gath, Rammus, even Annie and Maokai on the enemy team. He wants that true damage to be able to cut through some of these tankier members, whereas the more common build is the Gale Force, even though it's recently been nerfed. It is such a strong ability for an immobile carry.
Oh, and we've got a gang from Harkek W onto Taunt up. And the Mordecai's ultimate misses his grasp. Q down, gets that Conqueror procs, still doing decent amount of damage, and we've got a Ghost Arc from Coco. It's bad straight into the Ghost Arc in charge, and an easy pickup for the Coco is bad there. 4 kills on the Hecarim, 14 minutes in, very strong. Finished his Mythic, which is the Divine Sundering. Looks like they may be looking for a dive here. Pretty tanky.
They still have the Hecarim ultimate, and the Cho'Gath is very low on mana, but looks like they're going to think better of it. Koku's bad. He's just going to make his way possibly towards this next Herald. Looks as though that has just spawned, but no, he's just going to take the reset. Probably going to finish off his boots and come back out even faster than before.
Yeah, it looks like you've got 3 winning lanes really for the Wilder. So Rammus not having a great amount of pressure. As you can see here, they just foisted them off the turrets. Twisted advance onto the sphere, followed by and we've got the Worm ultimate straight into Rammus, straight onto the sphere, but can't get a taunt. Shield up, TP out from Kaiser with 1, followed by Cho'Gath in the back. No one's died yet. Flash chop from the Cho'Gath to pick up Sivir. Flash out from Braun. Mon is just stuck in the middle of that fight. Very quickly picked up from Grizzle Brando. So very nice collapse out of Outlaw Bandits there. Very nice, picking up 2 kills and going to get a lot of damage onto this turret.
Yeah, OEB can definitely be happy that on the third times of trying, they finally managed to break through that bot lane in a significant way. Although the problem is they are still taking significant damage in the mid lane, as well as the fact that Coco is bad. He's going to pick up that second Herald, which is only going to make the damage to structures even worse. Even losing the blue buff here over to the Malzahar.
We've got the Dark Chance coming over, but I don't think... Oh no, might be able to sneak it away. Nope, straight onto the Malzahar, pretty good. Coco is around, so they don't particularly want to take that fight. So
yeah, just to catch up, that about 15 minutes is looking like about 4.5k gold advantage here over to Wilder and the Wards. So it's not insurmountable, and certainly the likes of Kai'Sa are going to scale incredibly well. And we've already seen some proficiency on the champion.
And Onslaught Shadows onto the Kai'Sa, followed by the Devastating Charge and Conqueror proc. Got the Grasping Roots out from the Mordekaiser. Rammus is now shown up with Braum shield up. And looks like both teams are just going to walk away from that. What was that? 2 ultimates burnt for the side of Outlaw with just the Devastating Charge out from the Hecarim. Also Shadow, sorry.
Again, we see the power of the Braum Q in the passive. He drops it onto 2 people and they decide to back out. They realise it's too dangerous to do this with the CC from Braum and Braum, Hecarim and Malzahar. Harkek W is going to pick up his red buff. And looks as though taking turn to golems.
Yeah, but he's very much lacking in experience. He's only just tick 6 compared to the level 11 of the Hecarim. So he's got that second level into the Onslaught of Shadows, which is going to be very, very devastating to anyone it lands onto.
Yeah, and we're seeing the CS differences build up here. Jungle, mid lane, and ADC. All looking at between 30 and 50 CS advantages, which is a very significant amount of gold. Looks like they might be looking for the Herald top here into a dive, or potentially just trying to push onto the tier 2. But it's interesting that Coco is back all the way up here, because Dragon is spawning, and I would have expected Wilder and the Walls to try and go for that early 4th Drake, given that we picked up the first 2. Let's see if Outlaw Bandits can pick this up.
They do manage to get that Rift Tower spawn, get the turret quite easily, but they do look cross-mapping onto Dragon. Malzahar is here. Tibbers onto Braun, who's going to go in with the Glacial Fissure. Ultimate down. Everyone on Outlaw going so low. Oh my god, that was horrendous to watch. Just burning through the Rammus now, and 4 for 0. Drake picked up our Outlaw, but is it worth it? I wouldn't say so.
It was a beautiful team fight from Wilder and the Ward. sadly not able to pick up the dragon, but I honestly don't think Coco is bad. He's going to be caring about that. It looks like they're going to get tier 2 mid, tier 2 bot lane. The gold lead is just rising exponentially at this point into the game. At just over 7k, less than 20 minutes into the game. God, Outlaw Bandits need to find a way to stop the hemorrhaging at this point.
Yeah, all they can hope for is this Kai'Sa to get stronger to be able to really dead their team. But as you saw in that last team fight, she just gets blown up. Same with the Annie. The Annie got altered by the Malzahar, couldn't do anything. Very nice ultimate out. Tibbers was placed down but wasn't doing a lot. Then Glacial Fissure into Onslaught of Shadows, just absolutely cleaned up the rest of the team. It looks like we might be having a team fight here. Blind Tibbers onto Mr. Wilder and Resting Zeus. Nice bit of damage, but unfortunately not able to pick anything else up.
Yeah, this is where the wallets come into things. It's an excellent engage from Yonder onto the two key carries of Wilder and the Wards, but they just don't have the items to be able to 100 to 0 these carries at this point in the game, which is a huge problem for them. I have to say, Coco is bad is having an excellent game, and I've really been impressed by Dark Weave constantly landing these Qs onto the Rammus, creating that huge slow to stop him from getting onto the Hecarim in that bot lane exchange. So I really think he's working his way towards an MVP performance.
Yeah, Dark Weave he's just delaying so much damage. Going back to that dragon fight again, we had the Annie's Tibbers go straight onto the Braum. Didn't do anything, got him half HP. That was now wasted. Just meant that he could just now run up to the Dragon Pit, throw down the Glacial Fissure, get a lot of just procs and CC onto the rest of the team, and Annie couldn't do anything about it. So this Braum pick is looking very nice out from Wild on the Wards.
Yeah, I'll take an optimist angle for Outlaw Bandits now, just for looking forward to the next fight. In terms of summoner spells, all flashes are up for Outlaw. The only thing they're missing is the Ignite from the Maokai, but that might even be up as well. And it looks like they're in a 1v2 here with the Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser going to take the flash out. Looks like he's out here. But that was 5 people on the top side and they got the Mordekaiser flash. Whereas Resting Zeus on the bottom side of the map, pushing in with the TP, just free farming. No one's getting any XP here. They're just sort of pondering around the top side, blue side jungle for them. Okay, looks like we're having an engage here.
Bandits do have the numbers advantage here if they were willing to take the fight.
M-Time Kronk could only get onto the Hecarim. Severe is fine. Onslaught Shadows onto the Annie, followed by the Glacial Fissure, flash out from Yonder and down. Flash out from Severe as well, but looks like they're just cleaning up here. 2 kills onto Yonder and Wolf version 2 here. This isn't looking very helpful for Outlaw Bandits now.
No, it's such a shame for Outlaw Bandits. They think they have the numbers advantage, but Dark Chance is stuck under tower with the wave, isn't able to join, and the damage from Hecarim is just too much for the Annie to withstand. Looks like it's going to be a free Baron here. Haha, KekW is not feeling it, and that's going to be a 23-minute Baron in game 1.
Yeah, the problem with the Rammus pick is if your team can't follow, you just get what we saw in this team fight. Rammus goes in, didn't get his priority target. The rest of his team, as they're coming in, they just get shut down. It means they can't do anything. Yonder had a pretty poor flash in the middle of the team fight. Didn't flash anywhere. Got the Tibbers down, but just wasn't enough damage. Got cleaned up with Wolf version 2 as well. So
yeah, with the Sterax now on Hecarim, he's going to be even harder to kill. You've got the Zonyas on Malzahar as well. So things are just going from bad to worse here for Outlaw. It's interesting to think about moving into game 2, whether there's going to be a different draft priority for them, particularly in terms of the bans. They use the bans on Urgot, Anivia, Seraph, Olaf, and Jhin. It'll be interesting to see if they want to take away something like the Hecarim, which Coco is bad has clearly shown a certain prowess on, that really, ran over this game. And maybe they want to, slip through one of those previous bans.
Yeah, the Hecarim has definitely been a pivotal point in this game. Rammus doesn't feel like he's had much of a showing at all. Same with the Maokai and the Annie pick as well. Not huge coming out from any of them. As we can see here, Maokai's just been bullied out the jungle by Mr. Wild on the Severe. They can't
Yeah.
even venture in to get walls down anymore.
No, I certainly think that Outlaw needs to take a look at that Maokai pick and the
Oh,
Seraphim, but
awful to
that's
see.
painful to watch as the Sivir Q takes down the Maokai recall in a very greedy position. And the Tibbers is going to miss as well, so it looks as though Wilder and the Wards. Oh, but Wilder is going to take an awful lot of damage there.
Challenge Brando into the back line. Peel out from Mr. Wilder. Mordekaiser will straight onto Grizzly and Brando though, so not going to get a lot done there. Devastating charge and onslaught shadows in the back line with Mr. Wilder just cleaning up around this now. Flash out from Keck W. Kogo is bad, just bullying down champs at this point, where Resting Zeus is just pushing in the way for Baron Bob. Get this with the turret. And
I just want to give
as well.
I just want to give so much credit over to Organised Crisis there. When Grizzle Brando jumps into the backline to try and assassinate Wilder, his ultimate is second perfect to grab Kai'Sa into that realm so that she can't take down the enemy ADC. I'm really impressed by that. But it is going to be 2 inhibitors going down, and it looks as though Wilder are going to back off, clear the enemy jungle, and then reset to finish off some of their second and third items in this game.
Yeah, Mr. Wilder taking a very greedy trade in the bot lane, taking 2 turret shots, but really didn't matter. They're just so far ahead at this point. 12k in 25 minutes, very impressive showing out. But as you said, almost killed by Grizzle Brando, but split perfect, Organised Crisis ultimate from the Mordekaiser just keeps him alive, means they can re-engage with the Hecarim ult and just get 2 turrets, 4 kills, and 2 inhibitors.
Yeah, this makes me excited to see whether Grizzle Brando is going to be picking the Kai'Sa in game 2, because we can see the aptly named killer instinct from him in these fights. When he sees somebody that's low health, he's wanting to dive in behind them. But without with the Kraken Slayer instead of the Gale Force, he just doesn't have the ability to maneuver around these fights safely. And it looks as though he's just too far behind to have a significant impact in these fights.
Yeah, I appreciate what they're doing. Like, you can't fault them for it. They need to do something. So that was obviously, look, with that Wolf version 2 flashes out from the grass where he surely would have died, having to take the long way around now as they take this tier 2 in the top side of the jungle, because Grizzle Brando can't do anything about it.
And this has really been has really been Organised Crisis, first impact on the game, really. You can see sitting 1-1-1 in that top lane. Besides some of the teleports into the bot lane to try and defend his ADC, he hasn't had a huge impact this game, so that ultimate really was nice. Oh, and it's the Tibbers on top of the Sivir. Looks as though Coco is bad. He's going to jump in the back line. Can he take anyone down? Doesn't look like it. It looks as though he's going to try and escape straight away, although Zeus is here to finish up the kill onto the Maokai. Oh, and an ultimate straight onto the Cho'Gath, although I think he's going to be tanky enough to get away. Organised Crisis might be taken down here, and he is. Looks as though he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Looks like Wilder and the Wards might have to retreat from this one and wait for that fourth dragon.
Do you even need me anymore? You can do play-by-play as well.
We got. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rest. I'm going to have a drink now.
Yeah. See, it's not easy, is it? So yeah, it looked good from Yonder. Got the perfect stun onto Mr. Wilder with the Tibbers. Got about 3/4 of his health there, but just couldn't finish it off, which meant that Coco's bad. Just onslaught shadows over the wall. Manages to pick up. Did they get any kills? Yeah, they got Wolf, didn't they, in that last fight? But
yes, the Maokai went down for the 5th time, sadly, this game.
yeah, not great showing out from Wolf version 2 on this Maokai pick. As I said, it's got nerfed into the ground with both Imperial Mandate and Maokai getting receiving nerfs. This Dark Chance isn't having. He's sitting at 2-0-1, which isn't a bad scoreline, but considering there's been 24 kills in this game, and he's only been a part of 3 of them, and his team is, 13k behind now? This Cho'Gath pick hasn't having the impact that it needs to.
Yeah, I think that's the problem that we're seeing, is that the Cho'Gath pick is certainly able to survive the lane versus Mordekaiser, but in terms of its actual ability to have an impact on the game, it's quite underwhelming in comparison to the likes of a Malphite, for example, or an Ornn. You have to wonder why these picks weren't prioritized a little bit higher. If you think about an Ornn ultimate in some of these team fights that we've seen around the Dragon, I can't help but think that that would have just been an awful lot more useful. So we'll see if things get changed up. It might just be that it's a comfort pick. Let's see if they can manage to contest this. Haha Kick W has stolen one Drake already. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, this will be the third Drake for Wild on the Walls if they manage to secure it for this.
Oh, this would be the fourth. This would be Soul, yeah.
Oh, this is Soul, sorry.
Yeah.
Missing that one at the top. And that's just an uncontested Soul point. Mountain Soul, great. Brilliant on the Mordekaiser. Very nice on the Braum as well, and the Hecarim. Just that extra bit of tankiness. So yeah, I feel like Outlaw are not in a great position here.
Yeah, I think it's a shame to see Outlaw not try and contest that last dragon because the
Flash taunt on, got the stun down, ultimate out from Organised Crisis, but looks like the reverse flash out from Annie. Get out from it, re-engage with the Onslaught Shadows and the rest of the team out from Ghost. But he's taking up a lot of turrets and shots here, and he does go down. Glacial Fissure on down, Killer Instinct out from Grizzle Brando onto Mr. Wilder. Looks like a very good team fight here for Outlaw Bandits. Going to re-engage from Hector W, and the taunt onto Zeus. Get the Zonias out, but I don't think he's going to survive here. Oh, I could be wrong. Oh no, down. Organised Crisis does manage to get another kill on the back line, but another kill out onto Dark Chance, and the ace for Outlaw Bandits inside the base.
Well, like... I have eaten my words. Never mind contesting the Dragon Sword. You know, Outlaw Bandits just turned around and said, "We do not care that you've got that extra shield from the mountain. We are going to take you down in a straight up 5v5 in our base." Coco is bad. Clearly, he's 8-0. He's feeling a little bit overconfident in that scenario. He tries to ult himself onto tower. The Sterak shield is not enough to get out. The only shame here, really, for Outlaw Bandits is that some of that shutdown gold that came off the Hecarim went into the Maokai. That's not really where you want it to be sitting. Otherwise, they did manage to pick up some of the gold onto the Rammus and the Cho'Gath, but Annie is still sitting here, 2.5 items, feeling a little bit poor. She needs to pick up a bit more of that gold. But next item on the list seems to be the Baron for the Wilder and the Wards.
Yeah, it was a 5-3. It was quite a close fight, to be honest, considering how far Outlaw are behind. But they didn't manage to get anything from it. They just had to sit in their base and clear waves, whereas Wilder maybe gone and been like, okay, calm it down a bit, lads, do it. We'll take Baron, then we'll push into the base. Got no turrets left, just apart from the Nexus turrets to go through.
I just want to say, I love what I was seeing from Dark Chance here pushing the bot lane while he's got teleport, but Haha Kick W seems to be on a different page to the rest of his team. They're posturing to challenge the Baron, and he's taking his Raptors. You have to question the decision making that's going on there, as he just looks glum recalling in the mid lane there as Rammus.
Just given over another free Baron. That's the second free Baron. Like, they haven't even gone tested Soul Point or either Baron. It's not looking good for Haha Kick W.
Yeah, the first Baron is fair enough. You're 2v5, but this one is definitely a questionable one. And clearly his team was really wanting to challenge that one. So you have to wonder what's going on in the communications. That's going to be the mid lane inhibit that's taken down. Let's see. Are they going to allow all three to be taken down here? If they do, you have to think that's game.
That's 3 inhibitors down. Minions, super minions from every laner in the base at the moment. You've got the ball coming out from KW, but he's just not going in. That's that engaged tool down. You have to think the only other one is maybe the Annie's, the Tibbers. But Onslaught Shadows straight onto Annie. Got taunted up under the ship. Maokai, but it looks like Wolf version 2 is down, as is the Hecarim. But it looks like Outlaw Bandits are just falling here. Looks like last stand wasn't good enough.
No, let's see if Grizzle Brando can pull off a miracle, but it doesn't look as though it.
Nexus is done, and that is a 1-0 lead for Wilder and the Wards in this series. Quite a good game, but didn't look like from about the 10 minutes in, Wilder and the Wards had that in the bag.
Yeah, a couple of blunders towards the end there for Wilder and the Wards, so you have to think they're going to be a little unhappy with how they've played that one out, and they're going to want to clean up some of these issues. But otherwise, Coco is bad, didn't live up to his name. He had a very good performance, as well as both Mr. Wilder and resting Zeus. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here in the drafting situation for this. Just taking a look at some of the damage profiles in that last game. The Kaiser only managing to do 11k damage, whilst a support does 22,000. That's even with the nerfed Maokai.
Yeah, they're gonna have to seriously shake something out coming out from Outlaw Bandits. Maybe some different picks, but we'll have to see how they adapt. What would you take out coming from Wilder? Change it up, try and run the same thing again.
Coming from Wilder, I don't think you have to worry too much. I think you just adapt to the bans from Outlaw Bandits. For example, they banned things like the Jin. I think if you can get one of those power picks, then you certainly try to. But otherwise, yeah, you can feel comfortable knowing that you had some key picks taken away from you and you were still able to take the W on that. And for them, their job's quite easy in this game too, because they target banned the mid laner of Outlaw Bandits with the Yasuo and the Orianna coming straight out. They knew that Haha Cake W has only really been playing the Kindred and the Rammus, so they took away the Kindred to pop him on the, arguably the less useful of those two champions in the current meta. So they can probably just run those bans back the exact same this time, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, certainly some good plays coming out from Wilder. So the intentions were there for Outlaw Bandits, but just behind from minute one. Really, it felt like they always seem to be on the back foot.
Yeah, definitely. You could see some proactivity coming in from them, particularly in those 2v2s bot lane. You have to think if those really close fights where Wilder's getting out with 50 to 60 HP, that you never know, they could have perhaps turned that bot lane the other way. But once again, the power of Braum is really what was the difference maker in that bot lane. It was less so about the AD carries and more about the supports in that lane.
Yeah, it looks like blue side's coming out from Outlaw Bandits here for this second game. So pretty much the same again. Both teams sticking to the same side. But yeah, we'll just wait for that game to get into that.
Yeah, I'll just get myself sorted and in spectator as well. Oh, almost accidentally started a TFT.
Right. So yeah, before we get into that next game, we'll just have a quick break while we set everything up. We'll go get some water, have a toilet break, see what happens. So we'll see you in a little bit.
untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
When it hurts like this, we climb the greatest heights, jump down and have a fight, and that's all we'll ever like, but that can never change my mind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I wouldn't have it another way. There's no other way. Yeah. When it hurts like this, never like, never like, never like, never like, never like, when it hurts like this, never like.
Brilliant. And we're just about to head in to pick some bands for this second game between Outlaw Bandits and the Ward. Sorry, my mistake. So we'll see how things adapt into this second game. See if Outlaw Bandits can come back.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a really interesting second pick and ban phase. I want to see some different priority coming out from Outlaw Bandits. I'd actually like to see them leave the Seraphine open and first pick that. I think that makes more sense than the Maokai pick that they previously did, given the nerfs that they were over onto that. So we'll see what they go ahead with for the first ban here.
Yeah, you can obviously see what they were thinking last game. First picking the Kaiser, obviously quite a strong pick. It just didn't have the impact they needed to. It was the main damage source, and as you said, last game did less damage than the Maokai. So not looking good. First two banned Seraphine and Yasuo, so same Yasuo ban again, but Seraphine banned earlier.
Yeah, it's still, I'm still finding it unusual that the Seraphine is being taken away. Although, you know, I guess it is Wolf that is playing the support role for this tournament, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, and there's the Olaf again. It looks like it's the same band so far for the blue side, Outlaw Bandits.
Yeah, the wards with the Yasuo Kindred. Yeah, taking that pick away from Haha kept W XD as well as a comfort pick. Might go back onto the Rammus, which again didn't look too great. But we'll have to see what happens, see if it's just a run back of last game. Hopefully not for Outlaw Bandits, but we never know.
It would be entertaining to see the salty run back, but I think the correct decision has been made. The Hecarim has been taken away from Coco is bad. Now, I'd expect the Oriana band to come out here. They really want to push Yonder onto something less comfortable. Oh, they're actually afraid of the Annie here. That's interesting. Perhaps they feel like it's simpler to play than the Oriana, and that the Oriana is going to require too much synergy for Outlaw Bandits. But it is the first pick Kaiser once again, so we do get to see those killer instincts come out from Grizzle Brando once again.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have more of an impact this game. He had the right idea with going in with the killer instinct, but just not the impact. Ooh, okay, so alternation here from Hecarim onto the Jarvan for, I presume Coco is bad, can be swap support and maybe top, but more than likely in the jungle.
Yeah, I'd certainly expect that to be in the jungle. Perhaps they feel like picking up the Oriana themselves here, but looks as though the Sivir is going to be the pickup, so we're seeing the same ADC matchup. Mr. Wilder definitely got the better end of that stick in the last game, so we'll see what supports they're paired with this game.
It was the same pick order as well. This has pretty much been the same. It's been ADC, jungle, ADC. So this was the jungle pick for Haha W here. Ooh, hovering the Vi. Don't talk about hovers, but as we count down. Okay, the Vi pick. I like that more than the Ramos pick, personally. I feel like it probably can have more of an impact, especially early game, with a lot of easy ganks, easy CC, can get some of these squishier people down. But I feel like you're probably the Vi expert here rather than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be hypercritical of Haha W in this game, so I apologize in advance because Vi was the champion that I took to for my first time reaching platinum a few years back. So I do know more about the mechanics of this champion. I'm surprised to see the Cho'Gath again. Once again, I would much rather see something like a tank Gragas or an Ornn being taken up into the top lane. Is he going to take the Teemo matchup into Cho'Gath? That would be interesting. But no, it's going to be the Urgot that was banned away from them last time. So Outlaw Bandits might not be too happy about that.
Yeah, well, they had to ban the Hecarim, obviously with quite a impact last game. But it does mean the Urgot slipped through, which might be good for Organised Crisis. We'll have to see how it performs on it. The Orianna ban, taking that away as well. I feel like it's a pretty good ban out from the wards there. See what Outlaw Bandits respond with.
I must not fall.
And the
Leona.
Leona's going to be taken away. I am curious by the priority on the Cho'Gath over just picking the Orianna for Yonder. I think that might have been a little bit of a blunder.
Yeah, I feel like they should have taken their mid like they did last round. But obviously they prioritised the Cho'Gath. Getting rid of that Maokai, I guess, might be comfort pick for Wolf. Putting on to something else. As we said, the Maokai's not that strong at the moment, so it could have been a comfort pick.
I shall endure.
Yeah, and there's the Anivia ban once again. They really don't want to see the Anivia Sivir combo. But yeah, there's been a lot of support bans here with both sides leaving the support pick to the final two. The Braum is still open, and you have to think the wards are going to feel very comfortable with that. I know the team has been joking a little bit around pulling off one of these Ivern games. It does work in the support role, not as effectively, but it can be successful. Oh no, but there it is. It's the Braum once again.
It looks like we're going to get the counter pick again out from Resting Zeus. I wouldn't say any into Malzahar particularly counter pick, but got the better of the lane. Annie couldn't do a lot, really neutralised her. So he's a pretty good pick, and Resting Zeus will get the counter pick again. We'll have to see what they pick here. Twisted Fate. Decent blind pick. Quite good at roaming around the map, doing things. So yeah, Twisted Fate looks in for Yonder there. Hopefully have a bit more of an impact in.
Yeah, I'll withhold judgment on the Twisted Fate pick until we see what the actual mid lane matchup is going to be, but I'm a little worried for him so far. Let's see what the support pick is going to be, though. Looks like Nautilus is a natural pairing with the Kai'Sa because of the CC, but oh no, it looks like they're wanting the shielding on the Kai'Sa. Also works very well. Might just be a little harder for her to get the ultimate procs to dash in with, and now Darkweeb's going to be locking in what we assume is going to be the mid lane pick. So let's see where that's going just now.
Yeah, I feel like the Lulu Kai'Sa should have prior over the Sivir Braum, which will be an interesting dynamic as the Sivir had their main prior last game. And it's the Galio locked in. Very good team fight. I feel like synergizes extremely well with the Jarvan, especially with the Cataclysm into the hero's entrance. Sivir as well. Urgot, I feel like it's a very good pick out from the wards there.
Yeah, I have to say once again that the wards comp is looking a lot easier to execute, and I have to say I'm a fan. This is a nice composition to run with those major ultimates, along with the Sivir movement speed that you're going to get from that. Just makes things even easier. While the execution of the Twisted Fate and the Kai'Sa is going to, there's so many more variables that you have to work with on that, as the players are just sorting out their final rune choices in this game, and we will be getting into the loading screen shortly.
Yeah, I feel like the Kai'Sa Lulu, it could be a good lane, but I feel like that the Kai'Sa and the Lulu synergize not great. Kaiser's wanting to dive in and the Lulu can't exactly follow. Like Kaiser is a great hyper carry and all, and with all the shields and everything. But if they can't reach the Kaiser, she could be dead before you can get the wild growth onto her to save her.
I think what Outlaw Bandits are really looking for with the Kaiser is more of the pairing with the Vi. The Vi ultimate can allow her to lock onto one target, knock them up in the air, and that's where the Kaiser can follow through with that. The
Yeah,
problem I think that there is that the ADC that you're trying to lock down is a Sivir. And with Vi's abilities being incredibly telegraphed, it's quite simple to land the spell shield in those scenarios. So I'm going to be looking out at Haha Cake W to be pulling off some interesting moves to blow that shield before they try and land the CC.
Yeah, with the ultimate as well, just cancelling it with the spell shield. The Vice still comes to you, but you don't get knocked up, you just run away. Kaiser can still come in, I think. Actually, it might not proc the passive, so there could be a chance that Haha KW was just sort of stranded out in the backline of
One of the
team.
nice interactions that can happen is if, even though the spell shield goes off, like you said, the Vi is going to move to the Sivir. So you are in a prime position to be able to land your Q, which the Kaiser can then follow up on. What I'm looking to see out of Haha Cake W is to take Blue Smite in this matchup, ult towards the Kaiser, ult towards the Sivir, sorry. Sivir's going to pop the shield, and if you instantly smite before the ultimate has started, you can blow the spell shield with the smite, and then the knockup is still going to go through. It's a really nice way that you can play the Vi into something like Sivir. It also works in any jungle matchup into the Sivir, and I would advise many players play around that. Likewise for champions like Hecarim running towards a Sivir and hesitating on going in with the charge so that they pop the shield, you waste it with a Q, and then you can follow up. There's a lot of patience involved in playing versus a Sivir, and we just need to see some of that patience coming out from Outlaw Bandits this game.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be showing of how much Vi Haha does actually play and how much Sivir Mr. Wilder plays. Because if he could really delay the spell shield, as you said, to try and avoid the smite. So it's literally last minute. But we'll have to see. It's got to be a skill matchup for that. The wards very much have most of the damage coming out from the Sivir. Obviously, the Urgot can do a lot, being in the back of the fight for a long time. But I feel like it's a bit more just focused on, especially with the Galio not having as much damage as, say, the Malzahar does.
Yeah, certainly. I think one of the issues is going to be that Kaiser this game is going to once again have to go Kraken Slayer, in my opinion, given that you've got a Sivir and, in effect, 4 tanks. When you're seeing a 3-item Urgot, they're effectively going to be playing as a tank alongside the Jarvan. Even the Galio, if he goes an AP build, is tankier than your average mid laner, and then the Braum. There's no room to go things like Gale Force in this game. You need to be getting that true damage to peel through some of these tankier members.
From the loading screen, though, I have to say the Outlaws have definitely lost because they used the worst Twisted Fate skin in the game. And it's 1820 as well, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not brilliant. We are seeing the Unsealed Spellbook come out from the Twisted Fate. So not necessarily going to have much lane power from something like a Phase Rush or an Electrocute. So I'll have to keep an eye on that, see if there's any interesting Smite steals coming over from a Twisted Fate. Otherwise, everything looks pretty standard across the board.
Well, the Galio, is that Electrocute pretty standard? Then I feel like maybe Aftershock, but maybe that's the spot in me.
Galio nowadays, like going the more full AP with Hextech Rocket Belt. I think the Electrocute makes a lot of sense there. Also, they're going to need it for the damage across the team, which, because, like I said, there's so many tanky members, so much of the damage is going to be coming out of that Sivir. So it makes sense for him to go a more aggressive damage build against an immobile mid laner like the Twisted Fate.
So as we just spawn in, we'll get the sync up, and then we'll get straight into game. So just pause it.
Yeah, not.
Yep. Brilliant. And as we get into game versus for match 2 of Outlaw Bandits versus the Wards, looking could be an interesting game. Slight run back of game 1, but with a couple of adaptations. But looks like we're going to have some fun here. I am excited.
And once again, the players look to be just spreading out across the board. Nobody wants to take any interesting plays early on. We are seeing resting Zeus just sitting in the fountain, so we'll see what's going on there.
It's all mind games.
He hasn't. They haven't bought any items just yet, so I wonder if they're trying to scout anything out of the Twisted Fate to then finally make their decision.
Okay,
and it is
bought
going to
the
be the
Doran's ring.
Doran's ring, yeah.
I suppose if you saw maybe the D-Blade out from Twisted Fate, you could have gone Doran's Shield, because you feel like he's probably going to auto-tackle you a lot more. But Corrupting Potion into Doran's Ring, I feel like it's a pretty standard matchup.
Yeah. Nothing all going to be happening here, although it does look as though Vi's going to be starting with the blue buff. Something tells me this could be a buff to buff invade coming out of Haha Kek WXG. Because this is an unusual start. You would ordinarily prefer the blue buff for the auto attack damage and burn. Let's see where they go from this blue buff.
It could be interesting because obviously the J4's got quite quick clear speed. I feel like it's quite evenly matched with the Vi. Doesn't look like it's going buff to buff though, with Haha KW going onto Braum.
Okay, so this tells me that they're perhaps looking for a level 3 gank bot lane. That's the area where they want to prioritise their jungle attention, as Galio's going to try and get forward with the Justice Punch, but not an awful lot of poke over onto the Twisted Fate, who is a level down currently. And yeah, it looks as though it's a full top side clear from Vi. Going to move towards, I would assume, the red and then straight bot lane.
Yeah, it looks like, as I said, the Kaiser Lulu is getting the push in here. But interesting movement from Mr. Wilder, taking a bit more poke than maybe necessarily needs, but still pretty healthy. Obviously, the Q does a lot of damage, and we saw last game that if you don't have anything to retaliate, it just takes you half your health bar away. But obviously with the Lulu, a lot more auto attacks to get onto both the Braum and the Sivir to make this lane a bit more even.
I would actually like to see the bot lane of Outlaw Bandits not push this so hard and perhaps try and give some lane priority to the Sivir so that she's in a prime position for the Vi to gank. Although it looks like Vi's going to move into the mid lane here as Galio's overextended.
Yep, so charling up, we've got the Justice Punch out and pretty safe out from Galio. Obviously resting Zeus. Ooh, spell shield missed time there from Mr. Wilder. But yeah, Galio's a pretty safe champion. Unless you can get in front of him to block that Justice Punch, you can just do as we saw there. Just Justice Punch up towards the top side away from the Vi.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit bad for Haha Kek W. He's falling a little bit behind time-wise in comparison to Coco is Bad. Coco is Bad was able to do the 5 camp into Scuttlecrab a little bit quicker. But we're only talking tiny differences. As Wilder is taken down below 200 HP, all from the Lulu poke. Some excellent play from Wolf version 2 here. Looks an awful lot more comfortable than he did on the Maokai.
Yeah, both of the bot lane for the Wards quite low here. I'm expecting out from the Lulu into the Braum, they can just poke away. Ooh, Coco's Bad has shown himself mid lane, passing towards the bottom side of the map, and that means Wolf version 2's warming up into his side jungle. We've got Organised Crisis engaged onto Dark Chance here, doing a lot of damage onto the Cho'Gath. That's a very nice sort of confrontation by Organised Crisis there. Mr. Wilder, very low in this lane.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit scary for him, and I have to say that I do really like the vision from blue side here into the red side bottom jungle. They've caught out, you can see them pinging out Coco is Bad. They've known where he's been for about the last 40 seconds. And that bot lane is completely safe, which is how they're able to play so aggressively into the Sivir, who they forced back for a recall. She's had to go for the pickaxe first back, which is not awful, but you would prefer to get back with the Moon Quiver, and it's likely that Kai'Sa is going to have a little bit more power after her recall.
Yeah, quite a slower early game, I think, than last time. No, only one gank attempt. Got Yonder throwing out the yellow cannon to get Galio, but pretty safe laid out for both of them. A lot of poke onto Dark Weed. Got the Q back with a couple of bot attacks. Oop, and we've just got a pause here. Looks like Coco's bad disconnected, I believe. So we'll just talk about what's been going on so far.
Yeah,
Pretty-
so far across the board, no summoners blown. We've only had the one gank in the mid lane, which is kind of reminiscent of the first game. The exact same happened there. We had the Hecarim going in for the little bit of damage onto the Annie. Nothing really came of it. Just this time, I will say Haha Kek W is just managing to keep up a little bit better with Coco is bad. He didn't get double scuttle crabbed this game, and he's able to, he's only 4 CS behind right now. Looks as though he's trying to take that early dragon, which would be excellent. Vi, brilliant early dragon taker with the armor shred. So we'll see if they can pick that up. And otherwise, just Wilder being taken a little bit low and a little bit of an advantage to Grizzlebrander.
Yeah, as we had last game, Organised Chaos bullying this Cho'Gath out of lane. Obviously quite safe with the Cho'Gath. Got a lot of healing with the passive, just farming away. But there is quite a substantial 15 CS gold lead up at the moment from Urgot, which might equal out about 10 after this wave. But looking pretty good out of the Urgot.
Yeah, I have to say I'm quite surprised. Dark Chance is struggling in this lane versus the Urgot. There's clearly a lot more poke coming out than he was experiencing against the Mordekaiser. So he's not able to step up for this CS due to the range of the Urgot. So what was really the backbone of Outlaw Bandits composition in that last game that was able to withstand the power of the wards in the Cho'Gath who came out of the laning phase 1-0-1. It looks like that's going to be one of the weaknesses this game for the Bandits, and Grizzlebrando might actually be their priority in terms of damage.
Yeah, the lot of setup for Grizzlebrando. The TF going into the back line can follow with the Vi and obviously the Kai'Sa with the Killer Instinct. But also, I feel like the Wards have a better team fighting comp, especially with that wombo combo of Java and Galio. Braum, to an extent, with the Glacial Fissure, gets a nice run of those lined up, knock everyone up, manages to catch everyone. So I feel like if wrong place, wrong time for the Outlaws, they're just going to get wiped.
Yeah, that's certainly the case, and I think it's really going to be about the level 6s these games. I think we need to be looking towards around the 7.5, 8 minute mark. That's when fights are going to actually start breaking out in this game, I believe, with things like the Vi ultimate. You've got the Twisted Fate ultimate, the Galio and the Jarvan combo. These combos are going to be unlocked, and I think we're going to see a lot of movement towards objectives and towards side lanes, because neither of these mid laners are that focused on the actual mid lane. They want to be moving around the map and making a bigger impact there.
Yeah, that's obviously both ultimates are very for semi-global. TFO being, is that global or does it have a range that extends?
The Galio ultimate.
The TF, sorry.
Oh, the Twisted Fate ultimate. I believe it has a range that extends as the game goes on. I don't believe it is a full global. I think it's similar to the Galio ultimate.
Yeah, so two semi-global ultimates, both probably wanted to do the same thing, joining a fight to hopefully sway the balance. But as both semi-global ultimates, it'd be hard to get like a 3v2, as the other one can just join. Even though the Galio ultimate's cooldown is a little bit shorter than the TF's, but I don't think unless they time that really well, it'd be hard to pull it off.
Yeah, and it looks as though some of the Twitch chat getting behind Outlaw Bandits, spam this ball to help Outlaw. It doesn't really rhyme, but I respect the attempt anyway. And we do want to see a game 3 today. So here we are, back into game.
Okay, so yeah, as you said, yeah, Haha Cake W secures their first air drake of the game. I wonder which soul it'll be. Maybe get another Earth soul, but we're not getting an air soul today, unfortunately.
No, we're not going to be getting an Infernal Soul either. It is a Dragon Soul that's coming up second, as looks like Coco is bad, looking for an attempt at mid lane, but Yonder is going to recall, so nothing going there.
It's quite good lane play from the Outlaws, not pushing up too hard. Coco's bad, not really being able to find any early ganks with this J4, which is a shame because you want to be ganking all over the place as J4. But they might meet each other in this topside jungle with the Coco's bad and HKW on his wolves while his Gromp's being stolen away. I don't think either knows each other is there though.
No,
Either just bounce each other.
Oh, he does not have the health advantage. This is going to be quite dangerous. But he gets the nice triple combo.
We've got the Twisted Fate ult to follow in. We've got the Galio fault as well. And got just this punch into the taunt, straight onto the Galio, onto Twisted Fate, and Twisted Fate goes down. Even though Dark Chance was able to roam out quicker than the Urgot, had no impact on that fight. Whereas the Urgot was managed to do pressure and get that kill onto Twisted Fate.
Yeah, it's a scenario of whoever moves first loses there. Yeah, it's not always the case, but you have to think that the positioning of the Twisted Fate from the ultimate was too close to the Jarvan.
You've got Storm heal out from the Kai'Sa there. Flash out from Mr. Wilder, followed by the ignite from the Lulu. Double flash. Looks like Hackett is going to go down here. Mr. Wilder again. Ooh, too cocky.
Nice flash forward from the Kai'Sa. Can they pick up a second? No. No return kill from Darkweed either. It's a
flash out from
flash.
Flash Q from Darkweed to secure the Grizzle Brando. But as again, Mr. Wilder, he's very cocky in this lane, staying around on very low HP and just getting caught out for it.
Yeah, you have to feel though that Outlaw Bandits are going to be disappointed there. The bot lane was one thing that was going in their favour, and losing the kill there. Although you have to think that the wards were losing 2v2 trades there, even though they had the pickaxe advantage on the Sivir. This game has really not been going well for them in this bot lane, which is so surprising given the result of game 1 and where the advantages were brought in for the wards.
Yeah, and with 3 quick kills picked up quite quickly. 3 quick kills picked up quickly. Who'd have guessed it? Onto for the wards there, but one obviously the return kill onto the Kai'Sa, which is where you want it. Definitely, they're going to be your main damage again in this team comp as it was last game. But better start than last game. Not as far behind. Can hopefully have more of an impact in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I have to say, when we were in the draft, I mentioned I had some hesitancy towards the Twisted Fate pick, and that largely came from it being such an immobile carry. We'll see Urgot go in here, but he's not going to be able to do anything. The hesitancy was mainly because it's playing an immobile mid lane champion into something like the Jarvan, the Braum. We'd already seen the Urgot, and then to lock in the Galio on top of that. Oh, we've seen the ADCs just try and trade auto attacks here, but Wilder is going to lose that trade every time. Like you said, the overconfidence from game 1 coming in.
And he's missed a couple of spell shields, just popping it randomly, not getting anything from it. Ooh, Rupture goes wide, charging up the cube from the buy, straight on target, gets silenced, and quite easy, just chomp down onto the Urgot.
Yeah, it looked as though the Urgot missed the dash there. They attempted to dash away, and it looks as though they collided with the wall, which cut the distance an awful lot. Organized Crisis probably not going to be too unhappy though. It took 2 ultimates to take him down, and he's still got that 30 CS advantage. The Wave, however, is in quite a good position for him. He's probably still going to be able to walk back to lane and get that. I would have liked to have seen Dark Chance push that fully under the tower to deny Organized Crisis the XP.
Yeah, so this had to spend a lot to kill him there, and as I said, not in the worst position ever. Just got steel caps coming out from Dark Chance and a Barney Cinder versus the Warhammer, another Long Province in the boots, and a Kindle Gem. So probably still favouring the Urgot there.
Yeah, I like the early steel caps buy from the Cho'Gath. The new version of our Sacred Ninja Tabai from the old days. It's going to cut an awful lot of that poke coming in from the Urgot with the range advantage. We do see the Jarvan here moving on to Vision, so they're aware he's there. So I'd like to see the Lulu just back off a little bit, otherwise this could be a very dangerous
caught by
situation.
the what's Braum called? The glacial something.
I can't quite remember actually.
No,
that's your job.
that is my job.
I'm kidding, but it looks as though Haha KW is going to be taking the Rift Herald, unless he's just going to be caught out by Organized Crisis, it looks like, which could be a bit of an issue for them.
Yeah, flashes on neither of them, but it looks like, the KW is getting away from that. It's still following it under there as the dash away. But yeah, just seeing the priority from the Urgot in the top lane was just beaten off. And the Infernal Drake goes to the side of the wards there. So nice pickup there. Infernal Drake, always like that. Power spike.
Yeah, it's not too bad. They trade Drake for Rift Herald. Haha KW, there wasn't a notification, but was able to pick up that Rift Herald despite the Urgot roaming down. So it'll be interesting to see where they use that. I imagine you want to use it in the bot lane to try and funnel more of this gold into the Kai'Sa. But it'll be interesting to see. It looks as though Coco is bad, just going to cut through the mid lane to get to his topside jungle.
Yeah, we had a slight invade from Coco into the red side, but didn't really find anything. The bot lane's pushing towards Outlaws, as is all the lanes really, as with last game, just pushing towards Outlaws with Prio. So it means that the J4 can go for these more aggressive pathing.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Vi try and come in for a lane gank here, which is
straight onto the
interesting
three gauge. We've got the one in fight the mid lane where TF gets out. We've got flashes coming out in the bot lane. We've got the ultimate popped, flash out from the Vi, and easy kill onto the Braum. Quite a lot burned, but got the wild growth as well, but that was a nice kill onto Dark Weave.
Oh, it looks as though Coco is bad though. He's going to come in here and try and pick up a double kill, or at least the Lulu.
He's got no ultimate though.
I like the cancel on the recall though from Haha KW.
Flash out from Wolf. Looks like Coco's bad. He's got his flash up, flashes over the wall. The missile goes wide from Prism. Flash in onto Mr. Wild. Again. Oh, got the engage on.
Oh no, Kai'Sa's tanking.
That's the heal out from the Kai'Sa there as well. Bit of misplays on both sides. Oh, and we've got Resident Zeus coming in onto HKW. Should be able to. Oh no! Got the Vault Breaker away. Flash out from HKW. Rocket Belt. Shield from Wolf. And it looks like, HKW gets out of that with the flash committed from Resident Zeus. Some misplays on both sides there. But overall, coming out probably better for Outlaw Bandits. Definitely better for Outlaw Bandits. They got 2 kills for that. Whereas,
yeah, they got 2 kills onto the Kai'Sa, which they have to be over the moon about, but there's some questionable plays there. Haha KW missing multiple Qs. I think they definitely could have picked up the kill onto the Jarvan, which is a bit of a shame. And I will say the initial engage, while it did grant them the kill onto the Braum, Vi's not the best lane ganker, really. So he went with the Q into flash into ultimate, but I would like to see some different combos coming out, and maybe ganking from some different angles. Okay, the spell shield's going to absorb the projectile from the Kai'Sa, but Wild are definitely behind in this matchup, and needs to start respecting Guzzle Brando.
He's been caught out. He's been killed twice this game from overstaying. Like in that last fight, he obviously saw the Jarvan was coming in, but he didn't do anything. The Jarvan got the flash out of the Lulu, flashed out, and then Kai'Sa just flashed forwards, Qs, kills him. Like, could have backed off, could have healed, could have done anything else, but getting caught out and just donating a kill. Just pushed forward, got the flag and drag, got the cataclysm, but it looks like Hardcake here with the Vault Breaker, and yeah, it just kills the J4 getting trapped in the turret. Just punch away, looks like he's getting out from it.
That's a much better play there by the Vi. I'm really enjoying watching this champion.
Ooh, we've got
Organised interesting play by Organised Crisis. I think he assumed that the Twisted Fate was going to be standing under tower and was going to be in range of the Urgot ultimate. But no, it looks as though the bot lane are going to move up here to pressure Haha KW. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. The Winter's Bite lands, but no, it looks as though there's not going to be any follow-up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Grizzle Brando is just getting solo XP in this bottom lane, so he's loving life right now, scaling up. He's already got the Kraken Slayer, which is ahead of Wilder, so we'll see how much damage he's going to be able to deal with this, because you imagine he's going to be able to cut through the Braum, Galio, Jarvan, Urgot now.
Yeah, in that last engage, we did see there was engage on mid lane at the same time as the engage in the bottom lane. He didn't manage to get anything onto the TF burn a lot, which is why J4 didn't have his ultimate coming into the bot lane. Was back up again for the next attempt on mid lane, but as we saw, Haha kicked W around to have the counter gank.
Yeah, and they're really not extending this advantage on the Galio and the Urgot. You know, we'd said previously that the wards were ahead on the top side of the map. And that it was the bottom side for Outlaw Bandits, but they've not been able to utilize this Galio ultimate, and the Urgot has not stretched his advantage that much. He's still at around a 28 CS advantage. The Lulu looks to be caught out now. No flash.
Got Vault Breaker on, but it's double stun, double torn, knocked up and dead. Cataclysm onto by TF, get caught in that. He's trying to teleport away. Will he get out? No, he won't. He's got knocked up by the Hero's Call, and 3 quick kills back onto Outlaw Bandits, just as we were praising them. Got caught out, tried to re-engage, but just the team fighting prowess of the wards was stronger.
Yeah. I have to say, obviously, that the positioning of Lulu is questionable there without having a flash up, but I'm more confused by the commitment of the Twisted Fate and the Vi to attempt to save the Lulu. I think in that scenario, you just leave the support, let them die, you know, take the hit. You maybe have to drop the Drake, but you don't give it anything more over. Now we've got a Galio sitting at 2-0 and 3, which is looking really dangerous.
Yeah, he's got the engage onto the Optimus Practice, but it looks like he's turned around onto the choker. Looks like he's just going to waddle his way out there. Mr. Wilder get caught out again. Thunder up onto the Wolf, Killer Instinct out, auto attack, it's down. Wolf does eventually drop, but not before taking down Mr. Wilder at the same time. Flash out, we've got the Zhonya's in the top side. Looks like Urgot went down as well, got caught out, and they're just going to transition that into Rift Arrow.
Yeah, even though Wilder goes down there and it's another kill over to Grizzle Brando, I have to say I'm still very impressed with Darkwood's Braum. His positioning and his shield's direction is perfect in these scenarios. He's blocking so much of the Kai'Sa damage onto the Sivir, which allows them to get the kill back onto the Lulu at least. Obviously the scenario's not perfect, but it has been a clear pivotal pick for the Ward's bottom laner.
Yeah, they're just going to drop down Rift Arrow mid, which looks like they're going to take this turret quite easily for a hard kick W. Yeah, back in that mid lane to open. Even up the turret scores. Just take his blue now. Yeah, a bit. Again, double engagement with the chat.
Oh, another
Q misses.
Another Q miss.
Oh, and he's just going to get burned down by the Urgot. It's, yeah, the Vault Breaker goes wide. Doesn't get onto the Urgot. I don't think you really want to take that anyway as the vibe. Urgot's very good in these isolate, and he's got the Cataclysm onto the TF. Tries to rocket belt over the wall, fails, and flashes out, followed by the flash out from Resting to hopefully get onto him, but nothing. The flash is burnt on both mid lanes there.
Yeah, just in case anyone was wondering, you're not going to be able to rocket belt through that wall. That is not a mechanic that you can utilise, I'm afraid. But yeah, back to what you were saying, I think you're correct. I think you can't take that fight as the Vi in that scenario. You know, you're a level 10 into a level 12. That's going to be such a difficult fight to take. And if you miss that Q, you're just a sitting duck. There's no way out. It's one of the big weaknesses of Vi.
And he had his ultimate up as well. He didn't even have to use it. He just burned through it with the Q. Rapture goes wide. Taking a couple. Ooh, TF coming out. Ooh, throw onto Gordrinker onto ultimate. Is he gonna have enough damage? No, Rocket Bell out. Ooh, that was close. That could have gone very wrong for the side of the
I have to say it was almost a big mistake there, but overall I do like the map movement. At least they are using the Twisted Fate. Here we are, another ultimate onto the Brawl.
We've got the Hero's entrance coming out from Galio, knocking up the wall, and have to assault him back with the Vault Breaker out of there. We've got the taunt onto Grizzle Brando, who gives up the shutdown there. Not very good. To the side of Outlaws.
Yeah, very disappointing for the bot lane. The Galio ultimate is really good in response. They wait just until they're almost under that tower, and then they come in there. Oh,
re-engage. And that's just a turn and burn from the Resting Zeus. Resting Zeus is very strong at this moment. 305 on the Galio. Looks like he could just taunt in, ignite, and with the help from the severe Q, just burns down Hahakek W.
Yeah, we're really seeing the damage from this electrocute AP Galio coming out here. You landed Justice Punch into a Q, into an empowered auto attack with Galio's passive, and it's so
Gonna dive here. Rocket Bout into Taunt, managed to catch him. Wolf is here to help. Well, yeah, just this TF just can't stay around. Sivir just pushes down the turret. TF is gonna have to base. Bot lane is here, but just backing off.
Yeah, and once again, with the Twisted Fate pick, I think one of the issues as well is the speed at which some of these cards are being picked. I'm not sure whether it's not that much of a comfort pick for them, but you know, it's taking like a full cycle through of cards in some occasions to lock that gold card. With some quicker card picks there, you can maybe see them turning fights or even catching people out. So just something to watch out for in these upcoming team fights.
We did see him burn the teleport into the bot lane just to get nothing. Just to re-engage with under turret with Hahakek W going down. Got the mid support just trying to get vision in this Dragon Pit, which is up in 20 seconds. But we see the mid laner support and jungler for the wards heading down to the Dragon Pit now to try and yellow card locked, but no one's around for it.
No, personally, I'd rather the Outlaw Bandits didn't contest this dragon. It's only the third dragon for the wards. You don't want to coin flip your entire game on this. You know, maybe try steal with a Q from the Kai'Sa, but other than that, I really don't think we should be fighting for this. But there's the Twisted Fate ultimate pot.
Looks like he can't do anything with it, just using it for vision, I guess. But the Resting Zeus and Darkweed managed to just scare away the rest of the team.
Oh, and it is stolen away by KW.
We've got the Glacial Fissure out from Warm, but looks like KW's going to have to pay for his sins with Studio Night Drake. Flash Lord, Flag and Drag, Hero and Justice. And we've also got Optimus Crisis down here as well, so that's, as with last game, 3 kills for the wards. Urgot ult tagged onto the runner and he gets the chains. 4 kills for a dragon.
Yeah, here we are. This is the thing that worried me so much about that opportunity. You know, you might take down the second dragon, but it's not that valuable to you as the team only on 1 Drake who just lost 4 kills to that. You can see now that the Galio 309 and also the jungle 316, they're so strong. Even the Braum
he's got 4 kills.
Yeah, he's unbelievably tanky at this point, and you can see with the Twisted Fate landing the gold card into the card toss that he barely scratched the Galio. You know, Galio's got so much inherent magic resist and the magic damage shield into his kit that you really aren't going to be able to do anything. You're a CC bot at this point if you're Yonder 0711. So you need to play like it. You can't play as though you're going to be the key damage member of this team.
And again, another fight. That chance. Where was he? Organised Chaos had rode him down. He didn't even teleport down. He walked down and was there for the dragon fight. Managed to come in from behind. That Chaos had TP up. Nowhere to be seen. If you're going to contest this Drake, at least commit everyone to it and try and win the team fight. If they'd have TP'd in earlier, Urgot wasn't there. Might have changed things, but nope. Organised Crisis just walks down, gets another kill.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from on this. You know, Dark Chance not even able to take down that top tower, so you know that could have been at least a little bit of standing gold that they get into their back pockets, but no, not at this moment, I'm afraid. You know, you have to say this game has been a little closer than last game. We'd already seen the first Baron go down at 22 minutes last game. So, you know, all respect to Outlaw Bandits, a new team coming into the league versus, you know, a more veteran team that have just had a rebrand. But, you know, it's still a little disappointing that this game too is seeing such a big goal difference. You know, we're at almost 8k right now at 24 minutes. Yeah, we'll see if there's any way they can bounce back with the power of this Kai'Sa and Shoga.
You just look at the item disparity in the mid lane. You've got the Rocky Belt plus the Demonic Embrace for Galio plus a Seeker's Arm Guard compared to just a Rocket Belt and an Aether Wisp and a Sheen going into Lichbane, but just the damage coming out from the 2 of these. Plus the Galio air effect as well. It's going to be doing a lot more damage to the team. Whereas if you don't lock that gold, that red card, or get a nice Wells card, you're not going to be doing a lot.
Yeah, again, ease of execution. I think the drafting from the wards has made an awful lot more sense in this tournament environment.
Torn onto Wolf, just absolutely obliterated. Nothing you could have done there. Early flash, but torn into flag and drag with the electrocute, especially on the Galio.
Yeah, they're gonna walk their way over to the Baron and Spitfire. What is it that I'm always asking you to buy if you're playing ADC?
Is it Blue Wall?
It is the blue trinket. Nobody in this game has bought one, but in particular, nobody on Outlaw Bandits has bought one, and that is what causes your support to have to face check these brushes when they're worried about the Baron, and that is what's going to cost lives. Oh, we have seen 2 have been bought now actually.
Oh, TP cancelled out from yonder, but it looks like Assault and Battery down onto Organised Crisis there. Got smited, trying to get away. He's got to get burned down here, got the chomp down, but they're going to lose Baron for it. Like 3 people shown bot, they've started it anyway, but you just know KW is just not going to contest that.
Yeah, it's really not the best trade. They're trying to make the best out of a bad scenario. Clearly, the Bandits feel as though they can't contest that Baron, so they're going to take whatever they can. Organised Crisis is just over pushing a little bit when he needs to understand that 4 members of his team are on the other side of the map. But we'll see what they can get with this.
As well.
Yeah, we'll see what they can get with this Baron push. You've got Dragon coming up in under 60 seconds, so that's going to be not the most important objective, given that it's the 3rd for both teams. So you can imagine they probably want to try and finish.
Yonder is called for go cards. Darkweed just jumps in, but that's half of Yonder's HP gone there. Was for the flash though out of the Galio.
Yeah, you have to say it's quite a poor engage by the Galio. He's moving way too far forward ahead of the Sivir. I'd maybe like to have seen Sivir ult for them to be able to catch up, but you don't want to overcommit on a bad engage.
Oh, spell shield out from Mr. Wilder. A bit better that time. He's actually managed to hit 2 that we've seen. Flag and drag onto the Vi, followed by the hero action, and flash out from KW. So 2 ultimates burned for a flash. And they're probably just going to stick around and get this top tier 2 turret.
Yeah, I like the way that the wards are playing this out, although it looks like the bot lane might be caught in mid, although the Knockaby's going to miss, and it looks like Twisted Fate might be dying in the top side.
And we didn't even notice, got just solos to Drake. Darkweep's tanking so much here. Got wild growth onto the Vi there, but Organised Crisis in the background just picks up 2 quick kills. And it looks like it's going to be the ace here for the wards. It was a very... Oh no, TF is still alive in the base. But as we saw, he got chunked out earlier, so they're just going to run it down mid lane, probably get an inhib here.
Yeah, it's disaster for Outlaw Bandits. You can see Grizzlebrando trying to flash forward, get the damage on the Sivir.
They're going to try and end here.
Yeah, I think they can. I don't think they've got any problem trying to do that. They'll finish off the Twisted Fate. Surely he's going to... Yeah, the Winter's...
Yeah, down. And that looks like it is game here for a slight pause.
Yeah,
but I believe...
refreeze, but you have to think there's only 1 tower remaining, 5 members versus 0. It is going to be the wards taking the series victory over Outlaw Bandits in the first series of the new season. We will see what is happening just here. Fingers crossed we can get this game finalized pretty soon.
Well, yeah. There's no way the Outlaws are coming back from here. Wolf's up in 8, but you have to imagine by that time it's literally against 5 people. Nexus turret's got to down. Nexus is going to do, but I believe that's game there for us.
Yeah, and I'll give a little bit of credit here to the comeback of Wilder in this game. He did have a bit of an overconfident performance in the bot lane, gave too many opportunities over to Grizzlebrando, which we hadn't seen in the first game. But he's played much better as that supportive AD carry in the second half of this game, using the ultimate, peeling backwards rather than being, overconfident and playing forwards. But we'll see how this goes now.
Yeah, personal. Yeah, so looks like a pretty clean 2-0 there from the wards taking the series win. So congratulations to them. My player of the series, I'd probably give it to Dark Weeb. As you said, his Braum was on point for both games, really neutralizing the Kai'Sa with the shields. So, but you couldn't give it to. I'd say Coco is Bad was also a good example, or Resting Zeus. Either of those three would probably be my picks for players of the series.
Yeah, I think we have to give it over to Coco is Bad. Would likely be my choice. Let us know in chat who you think it is. That'll be interesting to see what the overall census is from the audience. But overall, yeah, thank you very much for watching this series with us. I've been Hooper, and my partner here is Spitfire. If you'd like to follow us over on Twitter, we have been posting about this today, and also on Twitch, Hooper_lol and Spitfire. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you all. Let's have a nice week.